Hello and welcome to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy, and boy, we've got a good one on the table here for you today. We're going to be doing an off-the-rip episode. If you're new to the channel, hello, welcome. Come on in, get comfortable. Let's have a pour, shall we? All my returning viewers, always good to see you. Come on in here, you beautiful Bourbon. I'll stop. Today's off-the-rip episode is going to be the Bardstown Origin Series Bottled and Bond, coming in at 50% alcohol by volume. That makes it 100 proof, as always. Yeah, distilled and bottled in Bardstown Bourbon Co. Bardstown, there's your distillery number. Somebody's having a bad end of their weekend. There you go. It's the most sophisticated distillery in this. Oh, age six years. Nice to have it right there. I didn't even see this. I didn't even look at it. Mash bill is 68% corn, 20% wheat, malted barley 12. That roughly sounds like Mr. Randy's jam right there. So let's go ahead and get this cracked open, shall we? Yes, I know nothing about this. Is my first entry point into Bardstown. This line here. I was going to go for the regular white label, but for just a little bit more, here was the Bottled and Bond. So let's get this uncorked. Nice. It is synthetic, but we won't hold that against it too roughly. Let's go ahead and get this pour on. There we are. Yes, this is my first entry into the Bardstown. I was going to go for the white label, then saw this one sitting next to it, and it was only a few dollars more, so I'm like, you know what? Let's go big. Let's go big, and then let's go home and let's drink it. Because we've had some stellar Bottled and Bonds lately. We've had some stellar Bottled and Bond. What was that last one we had? Oh, no, I don't remember. I'm trying to see if I can turkey peek out the door over to the shelves there. Nope. Okay. I don't think I have any Bottled and Bond on. I think this will be the only Bottled and Bond currently on the shelf. So, for all you new people, Mr. Randy does a 3-part series in his reviews. Part 1, off the rip, get it home, crack it open, have my first pour, share my first impressions with you, because that's how we do it. Part 2 is going to be the full review. We're going to drink it down halfway-ish, somewhere in here. I'm going to put the cork back on it, put it back on the shelf. I'm going to let it sit there for a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's on the schedule. And while it's sitting there, I'm going to do my work. I'm going to go online, find out what I can about it. We'll bring back whatever I might be able to find. We talk about it. Continue to drink it. I am going to score it during the review. We'll continue to drink it because part 3, final pour, thusly named, we're going to have that final pour compared to today's first pour off the rip and everything in between. So let's go ahead on the nose. There is, it's in there. It's kind of hard for me to yank it out. I got to go get a crane, but it's in there. I can smell it. Very, very faint, but pencil eraser. This really doesn't hit me, the olfactory, as much as you think a 100 proofer would. Now, there's a difference between Bottled and Bonds and 100 proofers. Bottled and Bond, strict rules that make it what it is. The 100 proofers, it's like the Wild West sometimes. You have a few rules you have to follow for it to be considered a bourbon, but beyond that, it's all fair game. Yep. I've had plenty of 100 proofers that I didn't care for. But then I don't think I've had a Bottled and Bond I didn't like. There's just a little more quality in that. Even though it's got 100 proof, it's still pretty good. Let's go ahead and get that first palating. Okay. It's sweet, cinnamon. Kind of light. Like you really gotta check. Like, is that 100 proof? It says it on the bottle. Bottled and Bond, 50% ABV. Let's very unusual. That's kind of one of the lightest bottled and bonds I've had, but that was the first acclimation pour. I'm going to work that out a little bit here, and then we're going to go in for a second one and see how it truly stands up. So, it's got some heat that the heat wants to build up in the background, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and get it on. It's got some good viscosity, that's for sure. It transfers well to the mouth. It really coats with some good oiliness, and it's woo. Yes, so that's why we do the first acclimation palating, and then I wait, kind of hold back as if I can. Sometimes I can't, because I got to talk. I got to move the mouth. I got to stretch everything out, work the salivatory glands, and work it first one out. So we get to the second one where you get a little bit something. Sometimes you get tremendous amounts of differences between those two. Oh, there's difference. There's huge difference. So we got a lot of spice up front. Not a lot has added to the heat in the back, but that's okay. It's already got a good amount going. Getting some pretty solid cheek action. It's, how do I put this? The intensity is not high, but there is strength. I didn't get that off that first one, that's for sure. Okay, here's where the quality of these distilleries and their mash bills and their craft distillers, here's where all that comes into play. There was a whole lot in that. There was more than I was able to speak into existence in all of that experience. I'm just giving you whatever I can talk about while it's there, and I'm spitting it out as fast as I can. This thing was all over the place, like beautiful chaos. I don't have the words to properly articulate what just happened. Things were moving way too fast. All kinds of experiences. Yeah, there was some sweetness, there was some spice, there was lots of spice on the front end. Then things just sort of like started scattering to all four corners, and I couldn't quite grab them fast enough. I guess we got to do one little more before we do the finish. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. Do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That way my videos come to you as soon as I release them. You can give the algorithm the middle finger. They don't do me no favors. Yeah, this one was a little slower, but I don't know. Everything just moves so quickly. I just can't keep up with it. There was some low rolling, sweet, mellow, oaky, caramel. Things are, how am I going to put this one? I was going to say balanced. Balanced and somewhat well-rounded. This is quite an experience. This is, and then you got a back end. You got a back end that just doesn't want to give up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this finish on. I don't want to push it too long. On the finish, you're definitely getting some intensity of dryness right up front. I got some squeakiness from the gums and the lips and the teeth. There's some squeakiness going on. This is a hard one to peg down because there's just so much going on. I'm getting some lips, some gums. That's where most of it's going. I even got some on the roof of the mouth and the tongue as well. That's kind of unusual, especially when it comes to bourbons. Now imagine if I would have judged this bottle by just one little sip. Just by, excuse me, the nose and the sip alone, just that initial sip, I'd have been like, nah. Now you can put that back on the shelf. That's why there's a process. Far too many times in my life, I've seen people try something just once, just a little bit, and they're like, nah, that's not for me. Can you believe it or not, when I was a kid, I didn't like ketchup. Yeah. What kind of kid doesn't like ketchup? Anyway, that was the old days. That was the old Heinz 57. Not whatever kind of formulated crap they're pumping out in these little packets these days. Squirt bottles. Give things a fair shake in life. If you ever try a libation and you didn't like the first sip, okay, find a way to enjoy it. Find a way to give it a chance. Because like I just did, I had made up my mind off that first pour, and that nosing was so weak, and it was just like, meh. But as you got into it, you worked it out. It loosened up a little bit, gave you a bunch of different characters, different kind of experiences. Chaos. Beautiful chaos is what I'm going to call this one. Yeah. I like this one. And I'm going to love to drink it down. So come back here around the halfway point for the full review. Okay? In the comment section, love to know where you're at. What are you drinking? Have you had a Bardstown? Probably most likely have. Which ones have you had? Let's talk about the Bardstown. And as always, thanks for stopping by here at Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. This is definitely a good one.